Hey, great people. This is Danielle Pierce of Real Estate Profit Lab, and I am back with another video in this playlist. And I want to answer, let's see, one, two, three, the seven most commonly asked questions with regard to completing work orders and property preservation. So the first question is, how often will I get paid? Um, this varies considerably depending upon the company that you decide to partner with. If I had to say an average, I would say 2 weeks. Some companies pay exactly every 2 weeks. Others pay on average every 2 weeks. Others pay, uh, you know, 3 to 5 days after you submit a work order and it's approved, I should say. Other companies pay every 30 days, and there's still probably a couple. Usually, these are the regional companies that will try to pay you every 45 days. So, as a new vendor, I obviously don't recommend that anyone sign up with a company that's going to pay you every 45 days or even every 30 days because the banks pay a lot more often than that. So there's no need to wait that long. So again, on average, I would say 2 weeks. You will know upfront which companies pay on which schedules, and you can decide which companies to partner with based on that. Next question is, what is the average turnaround time? So it's not really an average. If I had to put some numbers out there, I would say 2 to 5 days. So typically securing work orders are always due within 24 to 48 hours for obvious reasons. If the property is recently vacated or it's just there with the door wide open or the door kicked in or it's been vandalized for whatever reason, then those orders are typically due very quickly. And then for trash outs, and let's see, trash outs are due, I would say probably about 3 to 5 days. Grass cuts, you'll typically get a 14-day window to do one grass cut. So every 14 days, I want you to do it, schedule your grass cuts. Some companies have self-managed grass cuts where you just kind of go whatever day you can within that specific window, and others will give you specific dates to go by. So that just varies. But I would say plan on 2 to 5 days to complete work orders as they're assigned to your company. Next question is, what should I do if I can't complete an assignment on time? So if you can't get something in on time, you could just have it reassigned. You could ask for an extension. And then you could also just not do anything and just, I guess turn it in the next day. I don't really recommend that last option just because it makes you look bad and it's not really, um, it's just not ideal to operate in that capacity. So the best case scenario is just to ask for an extension, which is generally not an issue. The only time it's an issue is if, again, it's a rush order like an eviction or securing or something like that, and it needs to be done on a specific day and time. Other than that, extensions are not really a big deal. What happens if I decline work? So if you decline work, it's not the end of the world. I mean, this is not corporate America per se. And technically, all of us are independent contractors. So really, nothing should happen for us declining work, to be honest. But in practice, you are penalized if you do it too often, and if you are the primary vendor for an area and you're declining work that's in your assigned area. That is problematic. Every now and then, it's not really a big deal, though. Next question, what happens if the work order is done incorrectly? So this will happen because contractors will get to properties and they will do the wrong thing or they won't do anything. But so it's going to happen. So when it does happen, and notice I said when it does happen, your options are to, you could try to convince the contractor to go back to the property and correct the issue. You could go take care of the issue yourself if it's something that you're able to handle. You could bring on another contractor to go in and fix the work, which that tends to be the costliest option. Or you could just, take that L, take that loss and move on to the next job. But yes, this is going to happen just the nature of the business. Most recently, I was talking to my brothers a couple weeks ago, and he had this sounds so bad. He had a mold job to do. It was very small, right? So it was, just maybe a 5 square feet of mold to treat on a wall. And he gave the contractors specific instructions on what to buy, where to buy it from, what to look for when he went to the hardware store. And the contractor actually came to the property with a spray bottle of like mildew removal, like you would use in a bathroom. And as he was taking the pictures and I was looking at it, I was like, wow, this just goes to show that, I mean, some people just aren't a good fit. And the minute you see something like that, then obviously that's not somebody that you're going to ever be able to work with, because they're not going to do the right work. And you will, you can expect all the work orders to be done incorrectly from that point. All right. So those are the options if the work order is done incorrectly. Next question is it possible to select the days that I want to receive work? I wish that this were the case. Unfortunately, it is not. So what do I mean by that? I mean that if you have a 9 to 5 and you work Monday through Friday, you don't have the option of just saying, hey, don't send me anything until Friday night at 6 o'clock. And then, by Sunday night at 6 o'clock, I don't want to see anything else. You don't have that option. So if that's something that you're looking for, then this ain't going to be the business for you. And the last question is, what if I need to take a vacation or a break? So this is, again, generally not a big deal because, again, we're all independent contractors. So you can just put yourself on hold. And for many companies, you can do this internally. I mean, you can do this yourself through through your dashboard. Just log on and just say, hey, I'm on hold for this particular window of time. Other companies, you have to send a quick email or make a phone call and say, hey, put me on hold. But again, generally not the end of the world. So you're able to do this. I wouldn't do it like, every month, but you're able to do it a few times a year. It's not going to penalize you. So those are the basic questions I wanted to cover with regard to completion of work orders. Hopefully that was helpful. Comment below, let me know what you think, and I will see you guys in the next video. In the meantime, you can also visit propertypreservationmastery.com for more info.